as we speak from Ghana. Okay, what Nigeria is actually doing is a very smart move. The group of people who are playing tennis, go and play your tennis. If you are through, come back, another group will go. So that we don't begin to carry so many people together at the same time. Oh boy, these guys are smart. So it's not going to be 358 athletes will not be storming Ghana at the same time. It's going to be badge by badge. Go and do your games, come back. Another group, go. So that we don't begin to feed too many mouths at the same time. And before we begin to say, money no day, money go day this time around. All right, I'm just done in sport. Let me thank you very much for hanging out with us this beautiful evening. Yes, as usual, we have my right-hand man, my very good G, I'm talking about Martins, he's my right-hand man now. I am happy in him. Some people are jealous in the studio. All right, JJ is here. Okay. And of course, this evening, we have the two Amazons who are actually jealous, green with envy. I'm talking of Messi Boku. All right. Calm down. I have my mouth too, and I have my liberty. All right, I also have Naomi in the studio. Of course, we have a guest in the studio. We'll be talking about talent hunt in the course of this program. Yeah, we're talking about Asa Mohammed live in the studio with us this evening. Yeah, he has been in town for some time, scouting around to see what has been happening. We're going to be talking to him in the course of this program. But again, before we go into that, yesterday was quite a very wonderful matches we watched in the Champions League. One of the matches that I enjoyed thoroughly was the match between Real Sociedad and PSG. Very interesting and very intense match. Very, very interesting match. Hand-to-hand, box-to-box. It was really very enterprising match that we saw. Very entertaining match. And that is how football should be. The intensity was so high, and that is what we want. The tempo should be high. Not when we play defensive football and you want to come back. I don't mention anybody's name. So, and of course, the other one, of course, we saw Bayern Munich, who are under pressure. Tuchel was able to do a mincemeal of course, that is what is expected of them, and they were able to book their space in the quarter-finals. So PSG in the quarter-finals. Now, Bayern Munich in the quarter-finals. Manchester City likely going to be in the quarter-finals.
Against Copenhagen.
Yes. And then, of course, we are out waiting to see what is going to happen tonight. Okay, we're going to give you that now. Real Madrid, perennial quarter-finalists. So I think they should be able to squeeze through to the quarter-final. All right, we're going to talk more about the All-African games and then talk a little about tornadoes this evening. But let's quickly go over to the newspapers and review the newspapers. And then we'll come back here. And then we have all the time to do the discussions.
Okay, good evening and welcome to the midweek edition of Sports Flash. My name is Martins and I'll be taking you through the papers. And on the Sporting Sun newspaper here on the cover page, we see it will be in dramatic win of goal award. That is on page 6 of the Sporting Sun newspaper. It will be in dramatic win of goal award. And still on page 6, we see why Chelsea didn't sign Osimhen in January. And Leicester City tips in the day to return against Hull City. These are all the stories found on the page 6 of the Sporting Sun newspaper. And Ofion Edom wins Nigeria's first medal. That is on page 7 in the African Games. Ofion Edom wins Nigeria's first medal in the African Games. And I have not spoken to Bellingham over red card. That is Acelot is saying, I have not spoken to Bellingham over red card. Tottenham sets up Son's contract talks. Tottenham set up Son's contract talk. And on the back page, we see Ronaldo is my idol, says Saka. Ronaldo is my idol, says Saka. And I want to win treble again with Man City, says the machine, Haaland. That story is on the back page. I want to win treble again with Man City. And Foden to make shock City exit. Foden to make shock City exit. If you want to know where he's exiting to, you can check the page 2 of the Sporting Sun newspaper. And Barca wins demand for 60 million Conde. That is on the center page of the Sporting Sun newspaper. And Havertz scores 150,000th goal in English top flight. So in the English top flight, 150,000 goals has been scored, and that one was scored by Kai Havertz. Moving over to the Sporting Life newspaper, on the cover page here, we see Man United PSG now in pole position to sign Osimhen. That is on page 5 of the Sporting Life newspaper. And Chippa United to decide Nwabali's future next season. Iwobi's winner against Man United voted. All the stories are found on the page 5 of the Sporting Life newspaper. Still on page 5, we see Ekong to decide Saudi Arabia move. Ekong, to consider Saudi Arabia move. That is on page 5 of the Sporting Life newspaper. Aruna fails to break African Games jinx. Aruna fails to break African Games jinx. That is on page 7. And still on page 7, Edom wins Nigeria's first medal. Edom wins Nigeria's first medal. Guardiola insists City must respect Copenhagen. That is on page 2. And it's not over yet, says Ancelotti. On the back page is where that story is found. On page 2, like I just said on the Sporting Sun, Foden to make shock Man City exits. This is also found on the Sporting Life newspaper and on the page 2. And Kane's double helps send Germans through to the quarterfinals. Kane's double helps send Germans through to the quarterfinals. And Mbappe sends PSG into the quarterfinals also. That is on page 4. Both stories found on the page 4. And on the back page, we see Real Madrid ready to raise Davies' offer to 43 million. And on page 2, we see Haaland happy at Man City. Haaland happy at Man City. And lastly, on page 3, we see new Man United part owner Ratcliffe loses almost 1.6 billion. That is all that we can take on the Sporting, on the newspaper review, and I hope you do have a wonderful time with us. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, and welcome back again to this corner. Here we are. Let's quickly take over that. In the Nigerian Premier Football League yesterday, Gombe United squared up against Shooting Stars of Ibadan, and it ended 1-1 in that encounter in faraway Gombe. Of course, we saw tonight we are going to be seeing Manchester City taking on FC Copenhagen. And of course, Real Madrid will be taking RB Leipzig tonight, and that is going to be in the Champions League. Okay, those who are not in the Champions League will now know the Chelseas of this world, the Man U's of this world, and Liverpool's of this world. Yes, walking alone in the Champions League.
Yes.
But in other competition, they are still firing in all cylinders. So I think it's a good one. All right, gentlemen, let's quickly go over to the issues at stake. All African games have started in Ghana. Nigeria, again, has started a medal chase. We have 2 medals in table tennis. Of course, we said it here when the table tennis event started about some few days back. That was on Saturday when we said the table tennis events have started, and we're hopeful to see if we can get some medals there. Yeah, hopefully we've gotten 2 medals, 1 silver, 1 bronze. Yeah, the Egyptians are really handful for Nigerians because the Egyptians are African really champions, both in male and female. They won the gold medals. So JJ, this is one area that the Egyptians have always had comparative advantage over many countries, especially in table tennis, swimming, and generally in aquatic sports, let's say. But in table tennis, they are really doing very well.
Yeah, they are doing fine, very well. Good evening, gentlemen. You see, when you said they are doing very well, you can look at their wage of at least putting things in order in that kind of game. You know, Egyptians, they are very good in international engagement, in the sense that whenever they see this is where they are going to get their medal, they concentrate very well on that issue. Like Nigeria now, by then Nigerians are very good in table tennis, but you know, we don't keep players, we don't motivate them, we don't encourage them. The facilities are not there that we can fish out some other places. If it is not a maybe festival and you see them on the line. But for me, it's not surprising, and it's a kudos to Nigeria, even at least with our table tennis contingents, making us proud to at least get silver medal and bronze medal, despite the fact they are not being encouraged very well to carry alone.
Okay, I don't know if I should say they are not being encouraged. Table tennis is one game that
Yes.
in every nooks and cranny of Nigeria, you see people playing table tennis
Yes.
for leisure.
Even
and
in
for
secondary
competition.
school mostly.
So table tennis has always been encouraged to some extent in Nigeria. But more importantly, I think one of the issues there is that if you look at tennis generally, Aruna Quadro has been there from time immemorial. People who have been hearing his name
Yeah,
for
I
the
knew
past 10,
one,
15
yeah.
years. And we don't have replacement for these athletes. It's like just same person who have been dominating the sphere, and we should be having people who are coming behind.
That is why I said,
To take
they
over
been
from
having
him.
the support to that very gentleman who could have gotten a
But
very
again,
long
who are the
term
people who are actually going to step into
they are to encourage
shoes
him
of,
and then put him through.
okay.
Yeah.
The reality is that in every sport we have a time limit for an
Yeah, okay,
athlete.
yeah, definitely.
After that period, we will be expecting. So what do we expect to see Aruna Quadri, who has actually entered into the top 10 among the world rankings in
Yes,
tennis?
quite okay.
Messi. So what we look at this kind of thing, we go out there. The best you can do in this kind of competition is you come out with a good medal or a silver medal. If you are second, meaning that you are the second best in the continent as of that in that category. So Aruna Quadri has been here for a while.
So
And
seriously.
all of a sudden now, this is where this should be the, as far as African is concerned, should be the pinnacle. But you could only clinch his silver. What does that really tell? And we are not seeing others coming after him. So eventually, when he quits the stage, what happens to Nigerian table tennis?
That is, I think what Mr. Njide was trying to say is that we don't have someone who will take up, because obviously he's getting to his peak, and once you get to your peak,
The of diminishing return catches up.
it catches up with you automatically. And this is what we have been saying. You need to replicate, like you need to bring people that will take over from you. You need to have someone that you impact your knowledge, you put through. This is it, like how I am doing it. Train others to come and take over from you. Now that he's diminishing, now that his talent is actually age has caught up with him. We obviously Nigeria will have to, like Nigeria will have it very bad, because sincerely there's nobody currently that will now boast of, nobody can boast of that, okay, this person will take after Kadri. Nobody. And that's where we have gotten it all wrong in Nigeria. We don't replicate results. We don't bring people that will impact and then put them through.
Okay. Messi, let's go to Naomi. Naomi, when we look at it consistently, the Egyptians have been the one actually stopping us at the All African Games.
Yes.
They either get the gold medal, or in some few occasions they miss out in the gold medal, then we don't pick the gold medal. But most times they stop us on our track.
Yes.
So what are the Egyptians doing, or you think they are doing, that we need to learn from?
Good evening to all these things. A wise man or an adage said, a successful man without a successor is a total failure. Because just like what Messi said, if you are to replicate a certain success, you're supposed to have a backup plan. You're supposed to have somebody that will succeed you after you might have aged. Just like what we said last week, Monday, the system is faulty right from the grassroots. When the system, there's a wise man said, if the foundation is faulty, there's nothing someone else's can do. So the foundation of the Nigerian is faulty. So you don't expect them, when they get to an international competition to perform more than their expectation. No. You only bring what you have on the table. So just like what we said on Monday or Saturday, if I'm not mistaken, that the culture of the Egyptian made it a compulsory that in their private school sectors, you must build a standard swimming pool. Which private school in Nigeria can boast of that? Nobody. They can only use swimming pool for fun. So you can check the system of the country of the Egyptian. You can check the system of the Nigerian. So there is no comparison at all.
If I'm
Okay, Martins. Okay, you want to add something?
Just wanted to add something
Okay.
concerning how the Egyptians usually overpower us in places like this. Over time, we've seen how the Egyptians are better prepared than Nigeria when it comes to African games. They are over 200 medals ahead of us. They are 1,600 and we are like 1,400 in the African games. And Nigeria and Egypt are the only countries who have made it in all auditions of the African games. So one of the things that makes them better prepared than us, that they are more exposed compared to our players in all sports. They have different level of competition they partake in, and we don't. So that helps their mind, help them to develop on different levels. I think Edom in an interview said that having to participate in competitions helps her courage, her confidence, helps her confidence level to want to perform better and all of that. But this Egyptian, she actually tried by beating 2 Egyptians before getting to the final to be beaten by another Egyptian. So having to see that these Egyptians, they are head on,
layer by layer,
they are layer by layer, they are there. So she was able to beat a set of twins, and then was beaten by another one. So to show that these guys are not, they are exposed, they are prepared.
Very, very
so
well.
if we are to call table tennis now, I can only know one name, which is Haruna. So I don't know another name.
Because
but as it is now, for Egyptians, I already know like 3 names. You understand? So is the having to set competitions. These players have played so many competitions before getting to this level. So
okay. Now, why we're talking about this is because these players, both Aruna and Edith, are just coming from the World Table Tennis Championship,
in Asia.
fresh in Asia to this competition. So it's not as if they were match rusty per se, and they put a very good account of themselves in that competition. In fact, Aruna was quoted as saying that, okay, that was actually what even made him to really be prepared for this competition. But locally, we have very limited competition. It's in the world international circuit, actually. Quadri is in the international circuit, meaning that he can compete in any international tennis competition. So he has actually had that exposure. But how many Nigerians are we trying to make sure that they are following in that footstep? That is where they are. So what do we do now? Because we have tennis players all over the place. How do we harness them? Because why we are talking this is because everybody wants to become, like Hassan wants to become football agents. Because if you catch one player, he is able to make one thing, you know that millions will be rolling in. But tennis, you know that, oh boy, this is a long journey. So nobody is interested in all this, let me use the word lesser sports, so to say. But they are not lesser sports, other sports. Everybody's focus is on football, and to some extent, maybe now basketball. Otherwise, nobody's interested in other sports. So what do we do to equally enhance that interest among Nigerians so that both agents, sponsors will be looking not just on the way of football, but other sports? Gigi.
You see, Dan, in fact, we are lacking so many things in this country, in the sense that we are so rough. I'm sorry to say we are so rough. We have the material, we have the talent in this country, but how the sporting calendar of this country is rolling, in fact, is amazing, in the sense that we are come to at least position ourselves, make our calendar in different competition or in different field of sporting activities in this country. I think when we go to any competition, we should not be lacking of medals. Taekwondo is there. Like in Niger State, Danny, you knew very well, there are talent, even in chess, you know, like NUT, this thing, you see young talent playing chess, in the sense that they're in private school, so they're being encouraged, and then they're put on, and their facilities are there. So you see, this country, they don't even pay attention. They only pay attention where they can get their palliative, simple palliative and bargaining, which is football. And if they go to other competition, they should be reasonable enough to know that in other competition, if they are going to festival, that is where they will get much medal. You made mention of football is only 1 medal. So if we can focus ourselves in so many, in different fields, like track event, table tennis, chess, taekwondo, and co. And in fact, Dan, you know, you are done in those areas. You knew them very well in Niger State. You have been old in Niger State. You know all these legends that they are at home, and you have visited some of the private schools. You see the facilities that they are putting on the ground to at least to showcase talent in their schools. But that is not what we are doing generally in Nigeria. Most especially if we said we are talking of some other competition like this festival now. You see, we cannot, even we win in football, it's only 1 medal. But you can see table tennis are coming in now. It's just because
two good medals.
And
that is just
one category. You see, that is the problem. And that is what I was saying last year, that when we go to festival, Last time we went to Jos, we brought only one bronze medal. I was shocked. We go by fire brigade approach. In most of our festival, we go on fire brigade approach because we don't set up ourselves.
All right, because of time, let me just, before we draw the course, even though we're still discussing about it. Messi, now, table tennis, from the look of things, if the best of the best that we can present, the best leg we have is Quadri. And Quadri has not been able to get the gold medal. So maybe by fluke, maybe some other players will just get something, we can't say. But let's hope so. So which are the areas then, if tennis, which is the early bird, have not been able to really show us the light of the day? Because they say, when you are looking forward to a wonderful weekend, you got to be seeing it from the beginning of Wednesday to Thursday. But from the look of things now, where we are hoping to really start seeing medals, it is really not forthcoming. At least we have gotten medal, but not the kind of medal we are expecting. Yeah. So what do we do now? So where do we now begin to put our hopes now? Because 14 athletes are representing Nigeria in wrestling, and the man who is in charge of Dr. Daniel Agali, who actually has scammed them in Bayelsa State, brought them to Abuja, he's going to be keeping them there. He said when they are ready for their events, all right, just give us flight ticket, we just take them. Don't worry about how we take care of ourselves there. We might not even bother to go to the games village. We know how to take care of ourselves. Most importantly, I want to condition these athletes to be in very good frame of mind to compete. He's doing some of these things personally from his own resources and from other sponsors that are backing him up. That is the president of the Nigerian Wrestling Federation. But how many federations will have that opportunity? How many federations will go out to do such things? Here we are, basketball, which is one of the A-grade competitions, refused to go to a competition because federal government has not given them money. Until the last day, and they blackmailed government to give them money, and when they went there, we saw the shambolic results they had because they were not prepared. So we are seeing it gradually happening now. All African games, we have never come less than second or third. But with the way we are seeing this edition of the All African Games, or African Games, as we say we should be calling it now, what do you think is going to be happening? Because it is not really showing that glimmer of hope. That very confidence is not really there for us.
I sincerely, but I would say that they should just remove their focus. Like, let every category, right, try and focus and just get as much as they can. Let it not be like, okay, this particular, because this is the thing that, like, we are saying, okay, this is where we are sure
of getting at least.
We have gotten, yes. So let us not put our confidence that this one will actually give us a medal. Let every category focus and try and get as much as they can. We're not trying to play favorites right now, right? Like, we're trying to say this is our favorite. Okay, let me just say taekwondo. We are sure that you're going to represent us well, bring us medals. No, every category should just be dedicated and look for how they can get us as much as they can.
Okay, I wanted ending this, but something keep on not giving me to say something. Martins, maybe I want to stir up a controversy, but it's going to be a good controversy. Okay. I hope this time around we are going to Ghana with our athletes, representing various sports. Any sport that wins medal now, I hope the state governors will not come back and say this one is
my state.
I hope that kind of controversy.
You know, that's what I've been saying. We've been saying it. Yes, a precedent. Yeah.
I hope we'll not go back to doing that, because
sincerely,
every athlete that is representing Nigeria in the African game is representing the colors of Nigeria.
Not a state.
Any state. He's not representing any state. But let our governors that are now becoming an instrument that some people are using to divide us now through sports, not gone back again. Anyone that wins gold, now they will now say they're giving him a special reception in their states. I hope that will not happen. At least we are now saying it now, because that is a dangerous precedent we are setting.
Very dangerous.
It's going to happen.
You see that.
No. It's
going to happen.
It's going to happen.
I will not in this country. There are things we have said times without number, and we come and see it happen, and they will think we are spiritual people.
Somebody has said
we are spiritual. The thing is, it is going to happen. There are things that
they want to score politically. They want to score
yes. These are means where politicians can have
their ways.
These are tactics they might use in
the question now is that when these athletes were in camp, sweating it out,
Where
looking
was
for
this
funds to
politicians?
support their campaign.
support
them.
Where were these state
Where
governors?
these ones?
Until when they
They
go
will
out
wait
and
for
represent
the-
Nigerian color, not state color,
Yeah.
and win medal, that's when they will now begin to say that it's from our state.
We are going to see it happen.
Okay, I hope it does not happen. All right, Asa, let me bring you at this point. I'm sure you'll be listening with keen interest some of the issues we've been discussing. Now, this direction we are taking now of allowing people to now begin to pick up athletes that are good medalists and say these ones are from our state. We will now recognize others. Now we're having 14 athletes representing Nigeria in
yes.
wrestling. I'm just citing an example. Now, out of the 14, if we can get 3 good medalists out of that 14, that is when we will now begin to say, people will say this one is from my state, I have to give him special honor. I have to give him special award,
reception.
chieftaincy title.
Streets named after him.
What happened to the Super Eagles?
Okay.
Yes.
No, that's why I hope it will not happen.
What happened? The governors they started hosting the
Different
Individually.
one after the other, just like this guy, one Billy, the goalkeeper, the state governor honor him 40 million naira.
20
40 million naira.
was what was given to me. I thought it was 20 we were in the media space.
40 million.
a streets named after him. Chieftaincy.
Yes.
So that's. I think I will try Super Eagles. So.
You are into sport. Is that actually what should be encouraged for national integration's sake?
No. Because you see, sometimes we're trying to distract the sport in
yeah.
general. Because we won't get it right that way. If the federal government gives their national honor, so we should respect that. Good. Not that when you come, then you want to take it by your own self. That is selfish interest.
And most of these states are not even helping these athletes when they are preparing for these competitions. So why is it that it is when they have won something that you want to ambush and score political gain out of
So
this?
let me use this as an opportunity. There was a time, I think we tried to bring in tech football. I present the Niger State in tech football. I'm the coach, first coach. Now we take them to Delta State. We did well. I think I brought a boy from nowhere. We trained for only 2 weeks. And we become something in Delta. They were surprised. One of my boys that represent Niger State called him Ibrahim Alassane. With this Victor, the best tech ball player in Africa. From Ilori. We played quarterfinal with him. 2 straight win. And the boy tried. So if we are to encourage, not by all this, why there were nobody, I think that is the right time for you as a state governor to show the interest, to give them that money you want to spend, you want to flash, so that they will do better, not a national honor. It's wrong.
Okay. We keep on saying it here, but again, it's like it's becoming a misnomer, and that is becoming like an order gradually. So we need to really keep on hammering it because it is wrong. Let us not encourage it. If national or the central government, which is the federal government, has actually awarded or recognized the team collectively, if you want to host the team, you are allowed to as well host the team wholly, not just in piecemeal, by just singling out one player. So we are even seeing a ridiculous level where assistant to an assistant coach will also go and finish a jersey and go to a state governor or to this commissioner and say, me too, I was in that team, give me something to. I mean, we shouldn't be ridiculing our national team to that level. But again, the Nigerian Football Federation should equally step into this matter because we have seen it in football, and that is why we are now sounding the bell of alarm now, because it's possible that these all-African games, when there is gold medals now, gold rush will start now. Some governors will be waiting to start seeing that, okay, this one is an indigene of this state. This is what we need to do. We don't see these things happening elsewhere. So when we keep on promoting these things, sport is supposed to serve as a means of integrating and binding people together, fostering unity, not a means of trying to segregate. Sport has no place for that. That is why racial abuse is very taken seriously in sport generally. So we should not be doing that. If what we don't want outsiders to be labeling us, let us not be encouraging it. All right, coming back to your field of speciality, you said you are a MENA, or you have been going around recently because of some competition that we're holding or being organized in the States, and you've been scouting for players. All this scouting, we're hearing scouting, but when we sit under those players, we know that what are the scouts doing in Niger State? Why are they not giving us quality players? We still see players in Niger Tornadoes are mostly on loan players, players without any substantive standing contract with the team. Mere con players who have just loan deals with the team to play. If anything come out of it, their parent clubs that benefit from it. So what are the value of these academics and people like you who are doing this scouting? So what have you really imparted on the state?
It's a pleasure meeting you for the first time, and I'm Coach Hassan Mohammed, Niger Light from Bija, precisely. But I was born and brought up in Edo State. So if I should come in that aspect, because while I was playing, and I have the passion of playing to continue my football career after my injury, but I sustained my injury while I was in Berger. So then I traveled, I came back, I look at it, since I take coach as my profession. I was once coaching the National League and the NNL, which is NAF Football Club
of Abuja.
And I won the FA Cup back-to-back twice.
In Abuja?
In Abuja. And I won, and while they were playing this, their mock, I think there was one coach, Hassan is late now. Then, nobody know me as coach, but I don't show myself. I only come to stadium. I'll pick the players I want to pick. If I have a club, I know I will do something just for me to develop. I just want to see a little from you. Just give me 10%. And I think by the time I work on you, I will take you to 75%. So okay. I do that several times. I even work with Alpha MON in Usiak Academy. So I have some of our players in Spain, and also because one thing is for me to discover talent, not for Tornado category. Because when we talk raw talent from the streets, just like what they are doing now, like mock, like this, what do they call it? Pre-season. I believe that's where I'll get raw talent. Because in the world now today, in Nigeria at large, at the same time, in Nigeria, let me talk especially about Nigeria. That's why we don't have the Super Eagles of in those days. We don't have under 20 in those days. We don't have under 17 in those days. Because we don't have all these youth games anymore. Like Youth Form, Ramont Cup, and all these Principal Cup, they are no longer existing. During my period, I played them. And from amateur, they'll pick an eaglet and you see them. These are raw talent. So that's what we're trying to. Because even the last seminar I went, just came back, I think, on Thursday, last week, the same story about the talent. That is what I'm working towards, to get them raw, so that they get the normal basics before they get to even the Nigerian top flight football, we call it Premier. You can see a player in Nigerian top flight football cannot even have basics.
Okay. What could you say is responsible for that then generally? Is it that footballers now has a way of getting to the top without having the rudiment because of godfatherism and favoritism, or what really is responsible for that?
Yeah, you are right in that, because sometimes fatherism come in much. Because if you have somebody will take you somewhere that you never believe that you will be. But you that you are good, since you don't have somebody, you won't be there. And most of the coaches that we met today, all over the country, they are all managers. Just because of what they want to get, they will bargain with the player. If you are coming, as for sitting here like this, I should know how much is coming to your table before I'll sit here. If I'm a player, you should expect something. Then all the supporting staffs must surely get something on one player before he sign a contract in Nigerian football. How do you expect to get?
But you know, these are making a very weighty and a very serious allegation of life on it.
Seriously, it's not that I'm saying it. I can say it anywhere confidently. I'm once a player.
Okay, you suffered the same fate.
Me?
Yeah, you were exploited.
During our period, nothing like that.
So, at what period did it start, and how did you get to know about it then?
Because I'm into it.
Oh, you are equally beneficiary of it then.
Yeah, I know. Because you know, it's not an allegation that maybe I'm trying to do it. I'm on air, which I know.
No, that is your life. That is what I'm asking you, because you cannot make very weighty and very.
Seriously. You know, in Nigerian football today, like I said earlier, that's why you see I mostly go out. I decided not to coach in any of the club side. I decided to go in academy.
Do you have an academy, right?
Yeah.
You have an academy where in Nigeria?
In Nigeria, I have one called Aslim Academy.
In where? In Nigeria? In Mina or where?
In Mina, yes.
So, where are the products of those academy? Because these days everybody's running an academy. You know, everybody.
No, you know, the person that has it is Engineer Suleiman.
Okay, that is the owner of the academy.
Yeah, owner of the academy.
Okay, you are the technical hand of the academy and the administrator of the academy.
Yeah, now, because something happened along the line, so we decided to see we should cool down because we want to get everything right before we start off. So that was when one expert not picked me from him because Abu Salami is the owner, is the chairman that picked me to Lagos because we did something here in Mina. I went all over the country, I think almost 7 to 8 states to scout for talent players.
Okay, as we speak now, from the last 2 competitions that were held here in Mina, can you say that we've been able to see 1 or 2 players that you think, if properly harnessed and properly groomed, can be able to make it?
By God's grace.
So where are they?
One is Amoni, call him Razak. Very good defensive midfielder. He can move box to box.
So where is he right now?
Right now he's in Boso. I talked to him even yesterday. So he's just waiting for my own report now so that I will get him set so that we'll just go.
To where?
To Lagos.
Lagos.
You're taking him to Lagos from Mina.
He's from Lagos.
He's from Lagos?
Yes, and his school here.
In where? In FUT or where?
In FUT, yeah. He's in his final year.
Razak, I know him.
Very fine black midfielder. I saw him the first time while Tenadus was running his screening in the stadium. While the guy was playing, I asked somebody, who is this guy? He said, he's from Lagos. And I saw the boy playing. I saw what I want to show, so I know I can improve his status so that a white man, because there's something they need. It's not all about dribbling or whatsoever. There's something they look into.
So share some of the things they're looking for. At least you are here free of charge.
Yeah.
So you two can. And it's nobody collected a dime from you to be appearing here. So you two should be able to share what are the areas so that when the footballers who are out there listening to you now begin to know that, okay, I have this thing.
So let me
showcase in my efforts.
You know, there's a player, I think he traveled to Aberdeen, call him Wale. So I share that experience with people, let them know. It's not all about your playing. It's about your discipline inside the field and outside the field. And how do you coordinate your players. That day, I gave him my captain band. So while I met him, my chairman was saying, he was with us 2 years, 3 years. You know, he's old, his age is that. I said, no, leave him for him. By the time I handle him, the next scouting, you will see him. And my first scouting is the person the white man picked. Because why? He said, after the game, the guy went and shook the referees, organized the other players, shake the opponent players, organize his own player, they pray, and he come to our bench, he shake all our coaches, you understand?
Leadership.
Quality.
So the white man just, he's a coach. That is what we want. That is a professional we want. That is a professional player. It's not all about playing alone.
The discipline.
Because the discipline, that 3D must occur. 3D.
Name D1.
Discipline.
2.
Confidence.
3.
And determination.
Okay. You see, we are going free consultancy service. And I want to believe that, you see, we are not just trying to, because the essence of any program is to educate, entertain, and enlighten.
Enlightenment.
When these basic elements are not there, I think you're not doing a program.
Yeah.
So we always try all we can to say that we carry our listeners along. Okay. You are here in Niger State. You are from Niger State. How will you rate Niger Tornadoes?
Presently?
Are we talking about the past?
No. I want to reserve my comment in that.
Why do you want to reserve your comment? Because there is a lot of issues at stake.
There's a lot of issues, and I don't know where to start from.
Okay.
Speaking.
Okay.
Because you don't talk about, say, maybe it's the coach or it's the management or whatever, but the standard of playing, you have to work towards it.
Okay, the standard of play is poor.
You have to work towards it. Because
if
you look at the Rangers, those people are talking about referee and all this stuff. Look at your own home. Look at your own home first. If you are making an improvement, you should know the challenge you're going to face ahead. That is not the truth.
Okay. Are we seeing ourselves staying afloat at the end of the season?
Inshallah.
Okay.
I believe things will turn around.
Okay. So I guess, like we always say in this program, let all hands be on deck to see that things really turn around. All right. Let's bring back a team of analysts in the studio once more. All right, JJ, Tornadoes, when are we playing our next match at home?
It's when we finish watering the pitch.
For how long will the watch?
They say 2 weeks.
Is it 2 weeks not elapsed yet?
No, maybe this is the last week.
They are going for, I think, by tomorrow now.
Yeah.
I think they will be traveling to Bayelsa. And you know they have one outstanding matches.
With Rivers United.
So from there maybe they may likely
play. We stay back and play Rivers.
Rivers is before coming back.
So the next match might likely be home.
It might likely be home because they're given 2 weeks to water the.
No. Why I'm asking this question is because on Monday I was here when I said Aqua United was actually playing inside Aqua Ibom State. They were playing Iket Stadium. And they feel that that stadium was not their home ground. The players complained bitterly that they don't want to be playing in that field. They want to go back to the champions of Nest. They went back to that stadium. The first visitors that came were Enyimba. And they made a mincemeat of Enyimba, beating them 3-1. So, Abia Warriors were actually taken away from Umuahia Township Stadium. And as I speak, Abia Warrior is back to Umuahia Township Stadium. Why will Tornadoes continually and perpetually be playing away from home? They say it was the stadium. Now the government has gone out of its way to bring out resources and fix the stadium. The little lapses, I want to believe, are more or less administrative and political. Can't we all hands in Niger State join hands together to ensure that those bottlenecks are actually done away with so that Tornadoes will come back home? But, and I'm saying with emphasis now, let our fans too behave themselves because of what has just happened in Kaduna. Niger Tornadoes does not have the resources to be paying fines. So if you come to the stadium and you misbehave, in fact, instead of supporting Tornadoes, you might be creating more problems for Tornadoes because Tornadoes is in a very precarious situation.
You see, Dan, that's what I was saying on our last show, I think last year or early this year. I said this is 28 to 30 matches, which you see a solid team coming to Mina to beat us. So we have to curtail because the team in Tornadoes and the team in Rivers United, you will be meeting mature players that when they look at you, they know how to minus you. So we need to curtail ourselves. Look at what happened in Kaduna. Had it happened in Mina, it could have been a different story. It's not this turning. It could have been a band to the stadium, just been repaired, not quite long. So you see, the supporters need to be disciplined. All about, in football, it's all about losing, draw, or you win. I have the spirit of sportsmanship. That is the most important thing that we should curtail ourselves.
Okay. Now, before we go, Messi, lay your final word. This is Nigeria, and this is Niger Tornadoes. Nigerian football is actually going through a transition. In fact, I imagine that Nigerian Football Federation actually offered Pasero $80,000 per month, contrary to even what they were saying. That the man still said, no, I cannot even collect what I was collecting before. I'm going for $120,000 per month if you really want my services. And you must pay my assistant. That was where the discussions broke down. Now, it is almost 3 weeks after the Nations Cup. We are yet to begin to think of who is going to be the national coach. So what are we waiting for?
That's what we have been saying.
What are we waiting for?
I don't know. It depends on NFF because what are we waiting for? Really, what are we waiting for? Now, when the qualifiers come, we'll not be doing fire brigade approach. We'll not be rushing these players to be playing qualifiers. What happens? Why can't we get a replacement? What happens to this? There are men on ground. There are available people that can actually take the job as interim coach of just something.
Okay, coach, finally, because we are running out of time, we just have barely 2 minutes. And I want you to be very honest and sincere to me because don't talk as a coach now, but talk as a Nigerian now. You are an indigenous coach. Now, the players themselves are clamoring that they don't want an indigenous coach, they want a foreign coach. And the NFF, I don't think will have anywhere to get any foreign coach by this. So, what do you think can be done in this scenario? Because it's like we're in the deep blue sea. And
no, definitely the train must run.
The train must run with who?
Definitely.
There must be a captain that will run the train.
Yes, there must be a captain that will run it. For me, I don't think we have anybody that will keep to apart from the government itself. The technical director.
He has what it takes to.
Yes, because for now,
You see how they're looking at you.
No, you know, what I'm saying,
If I talk Siasa, you know, Siasa
It's on a band.
is the best coach we have so far that I believe on.
Amoneke, you don't reckon Amoneke has it?
Except if I don't know about Salisu, it's another coach again.
What about Ladamboso?
Ladamboso, you know, is engaged with another
But
country.
the engagement is not really for a long period.
You can't give him. He's already with under 20. Right now that we're talking, it's in Ghana.
It's in Ghana.
So
You don't expect
you
him.
need somebody that will come and take over this.
I'm not really cool with them.
So, in other words, these are the only coaches that can be able to.
This is Salisu, and you say it's under band.
Yeah, FIFA band.
So which I know.
How about Olise Sunday Olise?
You know, Sunday Olise is a good coach, but he has a condition. The Nigerians, he knows them very well. You know what happens? He can't take what this white man is taking, and everything he wants to do, he wanted transparency, and they must go by it. That was why he said even they need him today, they will come, but he has to give them condition, and he will sign it.
And they are not ready to do that.
And they're not ready to abide by that.
Because they know.
Okay, then the music continues.
Yeah.
And the dance step continues.
Yeah.
So
But,
that is.
Mr. Dan, let me appreciate you, and at the same time, my dream as a Niger Light, I pick myself in this profession to picking players from an academy. My dream is to see one Niger Light in Europe on one of the best clubs.
Wow. So we are hoping to see that you do that, and
That's
Niger State will be really grateful to you.
That is my dream.
Yeah, that is why we equally allow you to come and share your thoughts with us this evening. Thank you very much, Hassan. We are hoping that you, anytime in your free time, please breeze in. We'll having a chat with you from time to time, so that we begin to see how much progress you are making. You know, it's one thing to talk like this, but it's another thing to match up your word with action. So we want to see it that after the Ramadan fast, God willing, we want to see that okay, we have gotten 3-4 players now. They are in Lagos. They are not getting processing them because we have had so many. I have snap picture with some white people who have come here too. But at the end of the day,
I think either with any of the staff, I will send some clips. You see my previous one that I even with the picked the player. You see it in live.
okay.
Nigerians are live.
All right. That is where we're going to be drawing the curtain. And those of you who are following on the social media handles, please drop your comments. We'll still get back to you. And on behalf of the duty continuity and also Steven J, wonderful guy, STV. All right. We want to thank Martins. Thank
When you
JJ.
call Steven J, some people are just peeping.
All right. Merci beaucoup. And of course, Naomi. And of course, my coach here, who actually has added value to the program this evening. This is where we're drawing the curtain. All the best to Nigeria as we're gradually gathering momentum for the All African Games. Until we come your way again, God willing, on Saturday in the morning by 9 a.m. Of course, it's going to be a wonderful day in the crew here, so it's going to be a special day for us here. So we're hoping that those of you who don't know what is happening, something good is going to be happening here on Saturday. All right. Until then, do have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.